Din. Hello. See what's going on. Oh, okay. Let's come up to 40 seconds. What has happened since when was it? I made a video last few days. It's been quite intense in myself. I was feeling very not anxious, the word anxious type. When you are a driven individual in a situation where there is no plan B, and you've been in that position for so long, and the only thing that is driving you is your ambition and your dedication, you have to counteract a lot of negative people who don't believe in you. Now, for me, I've had to ask some questions the last couple of days. Honest questions, truthful questions about myself and my own shortcomings. Because when we ask hard questions, we can get truthful answers. For a lot of people, I'm too intense. I'm too raw. I'm too driven. And that is because for the last 10 years, I've had to build the skills that I am now using. But I'm 53 years old now. I left school at 16 with no qualifications. I couldn't even read, and my writing was awful. It wasn't until I was 29 that I learned to read and write, start to learn to read and write. So I use my hands all the time. That's how I become skillful. I'm a sort of jack of all trades. I'm not a master tiler. I'm not a master bricklayer. I'm not a master builder, but I can do it. I can do it. And I take pride in everything I do, even when I just sweep up and tidy up, when I was just a labourer. I take pride in everything I do to the best of my ability. So I'm driven and I'm intense. And I am not for everyone. For most people, I'm not your person. I'm not your person. I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not, and I'm not going to kiss ass. I'm not kissing ass. I've worked hard for enough people through my life where I've done every hour possible, gone above and beyond for their company, for their business, for them as individuals, and they don't appreciate the effort. And that's why I stopped working for other people. I won't work for peanuts. I would rather do a job for free than to work for peanuts. Because I don't want to insult myself. Because when I do something for free, I'm giving you the value at my rate. At my rate. I'm giving it you for free. But if I work for you and you pay me peanuts, then I'm lowering my standards for that money, and I won't do it. I won't work. I turn work away. I've turned so much work away because I won't work for peanuts. Been there, seen it. I've got the scars, I've got the blisters, and I've got the evidence to show the work I've done. The last 2 days I didn't write much in my book. But today I've wrote 4 pages. And that's why I'm making this video now, because I'm answering the questions, and as I say, I'm making these videos to hold myself accountable. So for you out there, people who I don't know, you can judge me. You can look me straight in the eye. Because for all the millions of people out there, or for the few hundred people that watch these videos, there might be a couple of you who are in the same boat as me, where you've got to fight for everything, for every scrap. You know what it's like to be hungry. You know what it's like to be cold, and you know what it's like to feel alone. Because I spend 99.9% of my time alone. I won't have anyone around me who's just negative, because I can't be taken on. You hear me talking about Frank. Well, yesterday I blew my top with him, and I apologise, because for the last year I've tried to get him to see his worth, and I just get, no, that's not for me, that's not for me, that's not for me. Well, I ain't working for £14 an hour, doing 12-hour days. I ain't doing that for 50, 40 grand a year. Stuff that. Been there, seen it, done it. And that's what I had to write down here today. Why am I so driven? Why am I so intense? Am I going in the right direction? Am I doing the right thing? Why do I keep getting back up? Why do I keep focused the way I do? Why do I? And it's all because when I was at school, I couldn't read and I couldn't write. I was the poor kid. I was the miner's son. I was on the wrong side of the line. I came from the wrong village. Yeah, I had to fight every day with those people who were them bullies. Yeah, when they were bigger than me and stronger than me. And then there was a point where, after a few years of my training, and I'd grown from a little boy, and I was like 17, 18, 19. Yeah, then I went back and I faced them. Wow, you can't bully me now, can you? Well, they couldn't bully me then. And that's why I'm so driven, because I'm constantly having to fight to prove who I am. And I'm proving it to myself. This was the thing, because, I'm 53 years old. I left school when I was 16, so many decades ago I left school. I shouldn't be letting those shadows bother me. But I've lived in the Algarve. The last time was 12 years, and I lived and I was surrounded by millionaires, multimillionaires. And I worked for a few of them. I worked in that environment, and I worked with a few of them. And I met plenty of people who are super rich, and they weren't rocket science. They weren't rocket scientists. They just had a belief of not giving up. They just had a belief of not giving up, and they did the work. Yeah, I met some smart people who work for some big organizations. I've met some people that the money that they spend and the figures they talk about are like, unbelievable. But I've not met one person ever in my life who I want to swap myself for them. I don't. I'm happy with who I am. Hi there, Colour Right 001. If anybody wants to ask any questions, you can ask questions. I'm available to ask, because then I can show you what I know. because otherwise I'm just making these videos, talking to the camera as my own therapy. Thank you for subscribing and the like. It means a lot. I've been on YouTube 20 years. 20 years I've been on YouTube. And I've not even hit 1,000 subscribers yet. But it doesn't matter. Because the reason I use my YouTube is to prove who I am and my history. Go back to my very first video 20 years ago in the garage where I was teaching. And here I am 20 years on. Still doing the same, still teaching. Still teaching, still swinging the kettlebell, still swinging the clubs, still teaching people how to box, how to kick, how to elbow, how to do personal safety, close protection. I'm still teaching and mentoring. That's what you deserve. You deserve what you get. You get what you deserve by what you do. Hard work's hard work. But you can have work for yourself or you can work for somebody else. We only get 24 hours a day. And we can either dedicate them to our own meaning, or we can sell that time to somebody else. But you're doing it, you're selling it for a fiat currency, for paper money, which is just food tokens. Because remember, we're just zoo humans. We're not out there living in the wild. We're not out there hunting our own food. We're not in a tribe. So we are zoo humans. So the value of money is so we can buy food. But because they just keep printing the money, that's what inflation is. That's why the value of the money you get goes down. And everything else goes up because that stays the same value. But because this money, this paper money, this fiat currency isn't worth as much, you have to use more of it to get the same item. So that means your heartbeats are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. My dad retired at 50. He was a coal miner. He started work at 14 and he retired at 50. He's soon to be 86. I'm sleeping on the floor in his back room. He's been retired for 35 years with the house paid off. Years ago, when he retired, it was paid off. My mum didn't have to work. She retired in 1969. My dad's got one house and one car. He goes fishing, shooting, walking. He grows all his own food at the allotment. You can't do that now because of the so-called cost of living. And that's because of inflation. The value of what the money that you have isn't worth what it used to be because they keep printing it. Now, I learned maths. I learned how to buy and sell before I left school. And there's been periods in my time when they say stacks of cash. I'd always have £1,000 in my pocket. And when times were good, I saved that money, I saved it. Because there was a period in my time when I had nothing and I had to beg and people rejected me, even though I was begging for help. And I said to myself, I'm never going to put myself in that situation again, never. So when times were good, I saved the money, I banked it. And that's why for 10 years, I've never worked for anybody. My savings are nearly gone. Soon, I absolutely have nothing. I'll be penniless again. But I knew this was going to happen. I budgeted. I said, okay, it's going to take me 10 years to retrain myself, to learn how to make videos, to learn how to edit, to learn how to do graphics, to learn how to do everything, to learn everything that I seen when I looked those multimillionaires in the eyes. Because I recognised what I didn't have. And I knew that I had to develop myself. And it's taken 10 years, but I knew it was going to be. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I got this documentation here. This is for a client that I'm going to go and see. I've just printed this out today. Financial statements and plans. These other documents and structures. The book, everything I've learned, I planned, I knew it was going to take 10 years to get to the point where I am now. And I knew by the time I got here, my pockets would nearly be empty, but my mind and my heart and my soul would be full. That's the difference. That's the difference. I've done my own university. I've done my own degrees. I've re-educated myself. I've just published my first book and I've got more in the line that I'm working through. I knew it was going to take me 10 years and I knew it was going to cost me 600 grand because that's what I've not earned. That's what I've not earned. So that's what it's cost me. It's cost me 600 grand over the last 10 years to learn what I've learned, because that's the money I didn't earn because I wouldn't work for anyone. If that makes sense. And that's now why my daily ticket, what I'm valued at, is unbelievable. Because you put me in the right situation with the right people, they pay my ticket, because the value I get, or my price tag, is based on the market cap. What are the skills that I have and the traits that I have? What are they fetching per day, per week, per project, etc., etc.? And there's plenty of zeros. There's plenty of zeros. Now it's crazy to say that and believe that, but it's the truth, because I can explain this, and this, and this, and this, and then generically say this, remove my name and my identity from it, and then say, right, okay, what are these skills? What are these type of person? What are these traits like? What are they value at? What's the market value of these traits? Yeah. And figures come back. Figures come back. I can go and put a suit on. I could go and sit. This is why I'm building the studio in the back room. We've cleared it out now. We're 3 days into that project. I made a video a couple of days ago when I first said, right, we're going to turn the back room into a studio. Well, I've cleared it out now. I've started to look at furniture. I got my cousin up yesterday and I showed him my AI plan, my drawings and whatever. And so this is what I plan to do. So this appearance you're seeing, I'm in my back room. This is the room that I live in. 8 foot by 8 foot. Behind the camera is where my desk is, where all my computers are and my monitors and my hard drives, etc., etc. I sleep on the floor just down here. I roll a mat out and sleep on the floor just down here. And I've removed the kettlebells from out the back, because normally I had a set of kettlebells here. I've moved them so I can just face here. I've got the window here, doors here. Normally, the last few videos I've made, I've switched it around so the camera was facing this way and I was sitting there. Well, the first time I'm trying this, just so you see what it's like. So there's nothing behind me, it's just me. I've got the light coming here from the left, I've got the shadow here on the right. Improvements every day improvements. So you can put me in a suit, you can put me on stage, because I can speak for 8 hours, I can do 3 days, because I've done it before. I've done it where I've spoke for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, because I've got I've been a performance coach for 28 years. For 28 years I've been doing this, but you haven't seen it. Glimpses of it. And if you look at my videos, you'll see there's a mishmash of everything on my YouTube channel, from videos that I've made for myself and videos I've made for people. And you can see the quality of them's gone from this, and this to getting better and better and better. It's like my homework. It's like my YouTube channel is my homework. It's my working out. It showed you how I've gone from this to where I am now. And it's going to be a stage of where I am now. It's where I'm going to be in the future. I can say, look, I said I was going to do this, and I said I was going to do that. Here's the journey. Another good thing about making these YouTube channels is I'm able to use them as plotting scripts for when I make my archive footage. Because I've got all these terabytes, 32 terabytes of footage. It's got all my history on it. So I can use these YouTube videos that I make and the transcript from these videos to help structure my timeline when I come to make those videos, where I've said I've done this and I've done that, and I've got the footage to prove it. So I can pull the footage out and show you. So when I say, oh, I built the training camp with my bare hands, when I flew all my kettlebells over to Portugal, I've got the footage of me digging out the ground, clearing out all the rubbish, building the roofs, laying the gravel and the sleepers and laying the mats and building, yeah. And I've got it where I've talked to the camera while I've been doing it. And we're in summer heat, man. We're talking 30, 40 plus degrees on there, shoveling. I've got the footage. I've got the footage when I worked for that multimillionaire on his house for 14 months. And I built the roof and all that, and I decorated the whole house, and I was doing all that. I recorded it all because I knew at some stage I'd have to tell my story. I've got the footage of me training clients up on the dojo on the rocks at 6 o'clock in the morning. I've got the footage because I used to go there with a bag and set up 3 old phones or 4 old phones and record all these multi-angles of me training and teaching people, because I knew there would be a time where I would show my history. I can pull it out. I recorded it. It's proof. It's just like I say about the books. The books are proof, the evidence of who you are, what you said you were going to do, and what you've done. Every page, book after book after book is history. 18th of the 3rd, Wednesday, 8 a.m. We're now running the chapters on the book because I've got a 13-book series going in process at the moment. 15th of the 3rd, Sunday, 7 a.m. Eighth of the 3rd, 2026. And remember, I write in my book one way, and I turn it around and write back. So this page here is the 7th of the 2nd, 26, is where this page is the 8th of the 3rd. Because I know when I wrote this way, I smashed it out. But coming back took a lot longer. And that's why I know where I am in my daily structure, because how many pages am I writing per day? The last 2 days, I didn't even write a page between the last 2 days. The last few days, I felt anxiety, the effort of talking to Frank, that was then responding to him. It's made me angry. It's a waste of my energy. It's taken my focus off the plan. There's no return in that energy. And that's the truth. That's the truth. We want to improve our financial situation. That is what the last decade has been about. The outcome has been the opposite. Myself. I've increased my skills, but it has come as a cost. What am I telling myself? What is going to happen? What will happen? What discomfort do I have to face now after so much sacrifice? What are we trying to prove? Who are we trying to prove it to? I am not that stupid kid no more. You know, that's the truth in it there. That's the truth in it there. That's why I can make these videos and be honest and truthful. Because what's the worst case scenario? I might upset somebody. Oh, wow. So what? I've upset many people in my life, and I've had many people try and smash me when I was working on the door. Yeah, I upset people. Of course I do. That's what I do. I upset people. But a few people, they take what I say and they do it, and they come back and they say thank you. Go and find my testimonial on my YouTube. There's just a black box and it says client testimonial. Go listen to them, and that's from them people are there from 2007, 2009 to 2011 when I run the garage. Yeah, so like near enough 20 years ago. Listen to what those people say. They'll tell you, I changed their lives. And that's what the garage is about. The Renegade Revolution, the reason I'm here now and I'm running the Renegade Human Project is because for most people, I ain't your person. But there's a few people out there that I am the right person for you because you want to do something. If you have ambition, if you want to change your life, I'm the person to help you because I'm doing it. I teach the way I live and I live the way I teach. And I don't hold no prisoners. I mean, I'm a lot softer now than I used to be. Go back 20 years ago when I was working on the doors, when every night people I was meeting, they just wanted to smash me up or glass me or fight me because they're sniffed up or they're pissed up. You know, I was a totally different person. I didn't say much, but I did a lot. Now I'm the other way around. I speak a lot. And I can speak because 99.9% of the time I'm on my own. I'm not around nobody. And that's what I wrote today. Let the silence heal the mind. The balance of the mind and the body happens when you're in the silence. When you can hear your inner oracle telling you to stop and to heal. We have to invest the energy into ourselves. As they say, put your safety mask on first before you put it on others. The reason I help the people that people don't believe in is because nobody believed in me growing up. And even now, people don't believe in me. There's people who know what I do and how much I do, yeah? And they still don't believe me. Even though I've got all this evidence that I'm doing the work. They look at me and they think, oh yeah, you're 53 and you're living at your mum's house. I came back here to get a new passport before I went to Germany and then to Dubai, because I've just spent 12 years living in the Algarve on the beach. And I came here to get a new passport, and my plan was to go from here, England, back to Germany, and from Germany to Dubai, because I wanted to go and spend some time with Master Shin Han Yi in the Shaolin Temple in Europe. That was my plan. But when I got back here, I realised, because I hadn't been back to England for 5 years, I realised how my mum and dad, yeah, how they had aged. They're soon to be 56, and I've been back 3 years. So I had to put a whole hold on my life. I couldn't fly back to Portugal. I couldn't go to Germany. I couldn't go to Dubai. I even turned a job down at a gym. But there's a couple of reasons for that. But I even had an opportunity to work at a gym, and I even blanked that because I went downstairs one day from working up on my desk. I went downstairs just to make up a cup of tea, and my mum had collapsed on the floor. My dad's always out. My dad's out fishing, shooting, down the allotment, racing pigeons. My dad knows what's what, and he's enjoying every minute of his life doing what he loves, why he can still do it. My brother at the moment, my oldest brother, is in hospital now fighting for his life. The brother in between me works nights and has done. So there's nobody coming up here to check up on my mum and dad. But me, I'm here. I'm here. So that's why I have to do what I do from here. That's why I make these videos, because I'm doing what I can do from here. That's why I get up in the morning and I'm on that computer and I stand up. I don't sit down. I built my desk, so I had to stand up. I can be at that computer from anything from 8 to 12 to 14 to 16 hours a day. And I sleep on the floor here on a mat. I go outside in a train. I eat one meal. I eat from a bowl. So I maybe have 1 or 2 bowls a day. 2 bowls if I'm lucky. Yeah. I help people because I see the potential in people that they don't see in themselves. And I help them because nobody helped me when I needed help. Sue and Jin, what's up, sir? Yes. Hi. Imogen, Miani. Hi. If anybody wants to ask a question, ask a question. Anything. The question's the power. You ask the right question, you get the right answer. You might not like the answer, but you'll get the answer. Because I tell people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. I mean, when I talk like now, I can feel that I'm drained because normally I don't speak to people and I'm a nose breather. When I speak, I feel how much energy I give out, and that's why it drains me. And that's why for the last few days I was wiped out, because I've been doing a lot of speaking, trying to give people the oomph, yeah, trying to inspire people to get up and pull the finger out and stop complaining and stop moaning. But I have to be harder now and say, that's it, no more time. I'm not wasting no more time with individuals if you're not pulling the finger out. Yeah, I'm not wasting no more time. Go and troll everyone else. Go and be keyboard warriors for everyone else. Go and whatever. Yeah, I'm here for the people that want to change their lives and are willing to do the work to change their lives. No BS, no BS. Because I hope somewhere out there in the karma world, because I need help in projects. There's people out there that I have not met yet who I need help from, or can make decisions that can be life-changing for me. If I bring value to them, if they see the worth in me, there's people out there that I've not met yet. And this shows them I've done the work. The book shows I've done the work, and the skills I have and what I can produce and make shows my work. It shows I can take an idea from here, I can develop it, I can research it, and I can make the project happen. I can take this phone, put it on my gimbal, and because I've spent all these years studying framing, colour grading, content, movement, emotion, yeah, storytelling, all them individual skills that I'm self-taught by watching YouTube, by listening to the professionals or people who do it, I can put it together. And that's just made me say something, yeah. I want to call out Alex, Mr. Alex Tech. You're only 15 miles from me. I know somebody who knows you, but I've reached out to you, I've emailed you before, and I've even cycled over to Solihull to have a mooch around. I remember you last year, it was last year or the year before that, you wanted to collab with people. Well, I'm here. Now, also, let's talk about Darren Mossett, the colourist down in London. Well, Brighton. I've watched his videos for years. That's how I learned how to colour grade from him. But when you try and reach out to these people, you can't get past the firewall. You can't get past the gatekeeper. That's why when I went and knocked on the door of the Milligan brothers in Nottingham, I rang the bell, knocked on the door. Hello. Oh, by the way, I'm Andy Spacey. I've got a story to tell. Tiny Studios in Leicester. That famous geezer. Bang, 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 bang. When I knocked on his door on the studio, but he wouldn't answer the studio. You're not allowed to. You've got to make an appointment. So you know what I did? I wrote a note on a piece of paper with a squiggly hand and stuck it on his mirror, underneath the wiper blade on his car, just saying, "Hi, Andy Spacey. By the way, I've just cycled 70 miles to leave you a note." And then I cycled back to Coventry, and that was coming down from Nottingham after being at the Milligan Brothers that day in their studio, after spending 3 days in Manchester filming a fight scene in Manchester. I cycled from there over the Peak District to Nottingham just to ring a doorbell to see if somebody was in. And then from there down to Audley in Leicester to Tiny Studios to knock on his door, and then back to Coventry. All on a bike, sleeping in the woods, in my tent or in my hammock. Because I said I was going to do that 6 years ago, and I did it. Well, 9 years ago now. And I did it when I come back 3 years ago. When I came back, I did that. I do what I'm saying I'm going to do. I do what I say I'm going to do. The timeline I'm not in control with. It's like everything. That is ups and downs, swaying away. But you don't know how long you're going to live. When you're born, you know you're going to die. You know where you started and you know where you're going to end, but you don't know how much time you got in between, yeah? And that's why I won't sell my life for peanuts no more. That's because worst comes to shove, all my camping gear's there. Always is. My bike's ready, yeah? I can put my tent in my bags, jump on my bike and cycle anywhere I go. I've got a passport. And once I get across the channel, I'm in Europe, I can go as far as I like if I want to cycle down to Japan or down to Africa. Or if I want to jump on a plane and go to America. I can go anywhere I want on my bike with my camping gear because I've done it before. I spent 8 years living in a garage with no hot water and no heating. And I turned that into a legendary known underground training gym. Ten years ago, I didn't know how to make a video, how to edit. For 30 years, I didn't know how to read. And now I write books and publish books. There's always a first time. There's also a time when you don't know something, and then there's a time when you do know something. Just like Frank was going, "Oh, well, you're not a millionaire now. You're not rich now." Yeah, well, I know many. I know a few millionaires, and I can tell you there was a time when they weren't millionaires. Go and listen to the School of Hard Knocks. They go all around the world. talking to millionaires and billionaires, and 70% of them will tell you they left school with nothing. Nobody believed them, but they believed in themselves. They doubled down with themselves, and they made the money. There's always an element of luck, just being in the right place at the right time and have done the work, and that you would have done the work to be able to maximize on that opportunity. And that's what they say. They say the bus of opportunity keeps coming around, but if you haven't done the work, you can't buy the ticket to get on the bus. You only hear about the people that succeed. You don't hear about the people who fail. You don't hear about all the people that do all the work, put in all the energy, invest everything, invest more than they had, and they still don't make it. You don't hear about them. You only hear about the ones that do make it. Now, I might never make it. I might never ever become rich again. We don't know. But if I don't do the work, then I ain't got the odds. You can't win the lottery unless you buy a ticket, can you? You can't win the lottery unless you buy a ticket. Right, that's me done. It's 42 minutes. That's me done. Go out there, get an A4 book and a pen. Write in the back of the book what you want to do and who you want to be and what you want. Then write in the book what you're doing about it and hold yourself accountable. I'm Andy Spacey. This is the home of the Renegade Revolution. And this is the Renegade Human Project. Russ.